let's first look at syllabus of KTY. Okay, the subject code is P131906 and name is Kinematics and Theory of Machines. As I said, it is a combination of two subjects, kinematics of mechanisms and theory of machines. So content goes like this. It is having credit of 5. So first chapter is introduction of mechanisms and machines. In this chapter we will learn different mechanisms that are used in real world. And in second chapter is graphical and analytical linkage synthesis. In this chapter you will have to calculate you will have to decide the length of different links in a mechanism that is called synthesis. Third chapter is velocity and acceleration analysis. Okay, I am going to begin with the chapter velocity analysis. Okay. So in this chapter, we are going to learn or analyze the velocities of different linkages in a machine. We'll see in detail. Then cams, belt, rope, and chains, and friction, clutch, brakes, gears, and gear trains. So if you look at this, cams, belt, rope, friction, gear trains, you have already learned this in basic mechanical engineering, but only introductory portion, how this thing works. Now in this subject, we are going to design this thing. We are going to design the cam, we are going to calculate the friction in clutch, brakes, we are going to design the gears. So that's it for syllabus. So now let's begin with presentation. So let's begin with our topic, velocity analysis. So I am going to begin this chapter, velocity analysis. So first tell me what is velocity. You can unmute your mic and give the answer. Or I can just go to the lecture. Okay, so it seems no one can give the answer. So velocity, basic definition of velocity is distance covered by an object in a given time. That is the basic definition of velocity. You can say velocity is distance traveled per unit time or rate of change of distance with respect to time, or in mathematical term you can write ds by dt. ds is the distance covered by the object and dt is in given time. So we are having two objects, object A and object B. Velocity of object A is 20 km per hour and velocity of object B is 5 km per hour. Now, this velocity is with respect to Earth. That is why this velocity is called absolute velocity. If we find a velocity difference between the object A and object B, then I can say we have found relative velocity. So relative velocity is basically velocity of object A with respect to B, or velocity of object B with respect to A. So velocity relating to an object or reference point is called relative velocity, and velocity with respect to Earth surface is called absolute velocity. So the velocity of your vehicle that you can see in speedometer is basically absolute velocity that is based on relation to Earth. If you find the velocity of your bike with respect to a car moving side by you, then that velocity will be relative velocity. Clear? And we all know that velocity is a vectorial quantity. So what is vector basically? A vector quantity is a quantity which is defined by magnitude and direction. So to fully define a vectorial quantity, we require two things. First one, magnitude of the quantity, and second, direction of the quantity. Just a minute. We can look it in. Okay, I will use this software extensively in velocity analysis chapter. So I was talking about a vectorial quantity. So a vector is basically if I draw a vector like this, so the length of this vector will represent magnitude of that quantity. How? That we will discuss in this chapter only. So now to define this vectorial quantity fully, I need its magnitude as well as its direction. I need to have the angle of acting this vector. Okay, then and then I can fully define this quantity or force or velocity. Okay, vectorial quantity, any vectorial quantity can be represented like this, where length of this vector represents magnitude of that quantity. That quantity may be stress, that may be force, that may be velocity, that may be acceleration. Any vectorial quantity can be represented like this. We need to have two things. One is magnitude and another is direction. Now, the starting point of this point is called tail of a vector, and the ending point of the vector is called head of the vector. So, we look it in presentation. Again, we are having two objects, and we know the velocity of object B with respect to Earth is 5 kilometers per hour. And I know the relative velocity between A and object B, that is 15 kilometers per hour. So I can find the velocity of object A with respect to Earth by simply adding these two vectors in this way. So once you define a vector fully, then you can find another vector by vector addition or subtraction. In this example, we have seen that the known quantity was velocity of object B and relative velocity of object A with respect to B. This notation is very much important. VBO means that velocity of object B with respect to Earth, that is indicated by VBO, and this VAB indicates velocity of object A with respect to object B. If I want to find the velocity of B with respect to A, then I have to use the notation VBA. And this velocity VAO meaning velocity of object A with respect to Earth. Earth is a standard reference point. Any velocity with respect to Earth is absolute velocity, and any velocity between two objects is relative velocity. You can simply find an example on the internet that two trains are moving in same direction. One is having velocity of 100 km per hour and another is having velocity of 50 km per hour. So relative velocity of uh, one train with respect to other train is 50 km per hour. So that is simple vector addition and subtraction. Let's take another example. Now, in this case, we know the velocity of object B with respect to Earth is 5 km per hour and velocity of object A with respect to Earth is 20 km per hour. So I can simply find the relative velocity between object A and object B like this. Relative velocity of object A with respect to B is equal to 15 km per hour by this equation. Okay. Velocity of AB is equal to velocity of A with respect to Earth minus velocity of B with respect to Earth. So I can say by subtracting the absolute velocities, I can have the relative velocity. Okay. Now, if I want to find the velocity of object B with respect to A, then you can say from this figure only that it will be in opposite direction, but the magnitude will remain same. So relative velocity of object B with respect to A is negative 15 km per hour. So that is the concept of absolute velocity and relative velocity. Okay. This vector addition can be extended to n number of objects. For example, right now I am having three objects, okay, and I know the absolute velocity of object A, that is with respect to Earth. And if anyhow I know the velocity of object B with respect to A, and I also know the velocity of object C with respect to object B. So I can find the absolute velocity of C with respect to Earth by simply adding these three vectors in this way. Velocity of A with respect to O plus velocity of B with respect to A plus velocity of C with respect to B is equal to velocity of C with respect to Earth. So in that way you can extend this concept to n number of objects. It works fine for any number of objects. You should remember this thing because we are going to use this thing in velocity analysis. Suppose in this example I want to find the velocity of B with respect to Earth, then what I will do, I will simply have to add only these two vectors VAO plus VBA. That will give me the absolute velocity of object B. Or in another way, if I know this vector, suppose so suppose if I want to find velocity of B, with respect to Earth, means absolute velocity of B, then I have two ways to get that thing. One part is going from this way, okay, by adding VAO plus VBA, I can find the value of this vector over here, and another way is by doing it this way. But the arrow head is important. Whatever vector you are finding is going in opposite direction. So let's see over here. Vector addition goes like this. At the end of a vector 1 or at the head of the vector 1, we will begin with the tail of vector 2 if we follow the addition rule, and the resultant vector will be like this. Its tail will be at the tail of vector 1 and its head will be at the head of vector 2. So keep this thing in mind, the resultant vector will be opposite direction. Like for n number of vectors, if you look at this vector A heading in this direction, and at the head of vector A, you are having the tail of vector B. Then at the head of vector B, we are having tail of vector CD. And the resultant vector is in opposite direction. Means at the tail we are having tail, and at the head we are having another head. Keep this thing in mind. So we are going to extend the concept of velocity to linkages. So which kind of linkages? Linkages is basically the mechanisms that are used in machines in real world. Okay. This is the example of wheels of a train, where you can find the linkages like this. So one linkage, and this is the second, this is third, and this is four linkage. This is called four bar mechanism. A simple mechanism but very efficient. That can be used in train, or another example, ex- excavator machine. In this machine, you can find the four bar linkage over here. That is link number 1, 2, 3, and 4. How these linkages work, that we will study in this chapter only. So you can see that the fourth link, or the first link, you can say the shape of first link is a bit different. It is not simple a line. It is a bucket. So linkage not necessarily be a straight number. It can be a bucket, it can be a cylinder, it can be a piston. Keep this thing in mind. And these are the other mechanisms that we are going to study. This is again a four-bar mechanism of crank and rocker mechanism, and crank and slider mechanism. So we are going to analyze the velocities of these components of this mechanism, like velocity of piston, velocity of piston, velocity of crank. Similarly, in this way, if I want to find the velocity of this bucket, I can simply calculate using velocity analysis. Or in this case, if I want to find the velocity of this wheels moving, I can simply find using velocity analysis. So these are the practical applications of this chapter. So we'll look the concepts of velocity in a software. Okay, so suppose this is a link, or simply you can imagine it as a crank or link of a train mechanism. I'll just show you. Okay, I have selected one link over here. This wheel, you can say it is a wheel. This wheel is rotating with an angular velocity omega radian per second. The angular velocity is denoted by the letter omega. It is rotating with omega radian per second velocity. So, how can I find the linear velocity, and what will be the direction of linear velocity of the wheel, or this linkage, you can say? So velocity, if you closely look at this point B cannot move away from the center and cannot move towards the center. The location of point B is defined that it has a path like this, a circular path. So if you find the linear velocity, you will find that the linear velocity of this linkage or point B is always perpendicular to the linkage, no matter in which position the linkage is. The vector V, velocity of this point B, that is on the linkage AB, will always be in perpendicular direction to it. Keep this thing in mind because we are going to use this concept in developing the velocity diagram. So velocity of any link is always perpendicular to the linkage. So we use this notation. Angular velocity will be denoted by omega and linear velocity is denoted by small letter v. So if you call the relation between this linear and angular velocity, it will be like this. Here we will write the relation no matter how simple it is. So suppose we are having a link OE. Okay, that is in this position. After some time, it is occupying a new position at point A and traveling the angle d theta. So if you find the equation of velocity, then linear velocity is equal to distance covered divided by change in time. That is the simple definition of velocity. Velocity is equal to distance covered by change in time. So while traveling the angle d theta, how much distance is covered by this point E? So that distance will be the arc EF or arc F you can say. So the relation between arc, angle and radius is arc is equal to radius into d theta. Okay. Radius is the length of this linkage. Keep this thing in mind. Then for further simplification, we can write n equal to r into omega because d theta by dt, rate of change of angle with respect to time is called rate of change of angle with respect to time is called angular velocity omega. So I can say velocity of point E with respect to center O is equal to OE into omega. Mind well, I have here condition that this linkage OE is rotating with omega angular velocity. At that time, I can use the relation V is equal to omega into R or R into omega. R is basically length of this thing. Suppose I have a point G on this linkage and I want to find the velocity of point G, then what will be the velocity of point G? It will not be same as velocity of point E because from this relation you can easily identify that velocity of linear velocity of this point is directly related to distance of that point from center. So velocity of G with respect to O will be omega multiplied by the distance between O and G. Keep this thing in mind, we are going to use this concept. So let's move towards more complicated systems. Okay, do you have any query in this? If you have, you can raise the question in chat box. Or you can ask, do you have any query? Hello. Dapat lagi mungkin chat lagi ada. Okay, so no questions. So I assume you all have understood this. Let me go to the slide. I think you can. So this is the thing that we are going to study mechanism. This is the simplest kind of mechanism of four-bar mechanism, which is having four links. That is why it is called as four-bar. Link AB, link BC, link CD, and link AD or DA. We are using these four links. That is why the name is given as four-bar mechanism. There are four inversions possible in this kind of mechanism, but we are not talking about inversion. We will talk about velocity analysis of this mechanism. Okay, so in this lecture, I will just briefly explain how you can draw a velocity diagram. So this kind of linkage will be given to you, and you will be given the angular velocity of this link AD. You will be given the angular velocity of this link AD, and you will be asked to find the velocity of any link or any point on any linkage, like velocity of find out the velocity of point C, find out the velocity of point E, or find out the velocity of this link CD, like that. In that way, the questions can be asked. So now, what is the procedure to draw a velocity diagram? So the concept is simple, as I explained in this lecture only. That velocity of any linkage is perpendicular to the linkage. So if I ask you the velocity of AB, what will be the direction of velocity of the link AB? It will be perpendicular to this AB. So I'm just putting it on a random point over here and just showing you the overview how to proceed. And this magnitude of this velocity will be known to us because omega is given to us, length of this link AB is given to us, then velocity of this link is simply omega into r. So we will draw this vector to considerable scale. So now what is scale? Okay. As we all know that the unit of velocity is meter per second, kilometer per hour, like that. We cannot simply put it like this. If we have 2 meter per second velocity, I cannot simply draw a line of 4 centimeter like that. Suppose, for example, we have to select a proper scale. Yes, consider 60 and 70 are in millimeter. So I have to assume that 1 millimeter or 10 millimeter on this graph represents 1 meter per second of velocity. Like that. Getting my point? We have to assume the scale that 10 millimeter on this uh, stage represents 1 meter per second of velocity. So likewise, you have to find the magnitude of velocity. Suppose you are getting the velocity of 4 meter per second. Okay. You got the magnitude of velocity 4 meter per second. Then you have to draw a vector of length 40 mm. This much length. Okay. You have to draw the vector length of 40 mm. And the direction will be perpendicular. So let me use it. Okay, so length of this vector is 40 mm. So here I have point. Okay, this is represents point A. This is point A, and this represents point B. and this representation is actually like that B. We have to represent it in this way. That is, our vector is originating from point A and is terminating at point B. And I have mentioned here BA means this arrow indicates velocity of this point B with respect to A. And this linkage is this point B with respect to A. So likewise, we have to represent vector for each of these linkages. So we are running out of time, so we will discuss this in next lecture. But in today's lecture, let's first take the attendance.